Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping right into some big news from the Taiwanese hip-hop scene.
That's right. We're talking about MJ116 or Wonton,
Exactly. They're making a comeback after, what, 6 years?
6 years, yeah. Since they started that whole single flight, no disbandment thing, now they've got a new album, concerts lined up.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Definitely. And we're going to unpack why this return is getting so much attention.
Right. So our main info comes from two places today. First, there's a recent MTV Taiwan news article from April 2nd this year. It announced the reunion, the new album OGS, and the upcoming shows at the Taipei Arena.
Okay, Taipei Arena. That's big.
Huge. And second, we've got the MJ116 Wikipedia page. Loads of background info there, who they are, their history, the whole story.
Good stuff. So MJ116, they're not exactly newcomers, are they? For anyone maybe less familiar, who are we talking about here?
Yeah, definitely not new. They actually formed way back on July 4th, 2004. It's three members: E.SO, Chen Yu-sung,
Okay.
Kenzy, who's Cho En-shae, and Muta, Lin Mu-yuan.
And the name, MJ116.
It's pretty cool, actually. The MJ stands for Muzha, which is their neighborhood in Taipei. And 116, that's just the postal code for the Wenshan district where Muzha is.
Simple but effective. Grounded.
Totally. And they have that catchphrase everyone knows, Ninja hum.
Which is...
This is MJ116, you hear it everywhere.
Right, right. Now, Wikipedia also mentions they got a major boost from being part of Guts. What was that?
Yeah, Brotherhood. That was from 2015 to 2017. They teamed up with, legend singer Chang Chen-yu and the rapper MC Hot Dog.
Wow. Okay. Power group.
Seriously, they put out that massive track, Fly Out, sometimes called Etche. This is too dangerous.
I remember that one. It was everywhere.
Exactly. That collaboration really pushed them into the mainstream, gave them huge exposure.
So what do you think that GUTS period did for them? I mean, for MJ116 as a group, but also maybe for them individually?
That's a good point. I think, it definitely broadened their audience massively. And maybe, like you said, it gave them that platform, that confidence, maybe even the financial freedom to then go explore solo stuff for a bit.
Knowing they had this strong base to come back to.
Precisely. Which leads us to 2019 when they announced the single flight, no disbandment plan. The MTV article points out this official comeback is now 6 years later. What did that actually mean, that whole single flight idea?
It sounds kind of ambiguous.
Well, they made it clear at their Kaohsiung Arena show back in January 2019. They weren't splitting up, not really, but each guy was going to focus on his own projects, solo albums, that kind of thing.
Okay, so individual exploration.
Exactly. And the MTV piece gives us a peek into the reunion. Apparently, they started talking, planning, getting back together properly in 2023.
So it wasn't just a sudden thing.
No, not at all. And it sounds like it wasn't super easy either. The article mentions significant creative bottlenecks, like life changes, different musical ideas, maybe.
Yeah, after years apart, doing your own thing, finding that shared wavelength again must take time.
For sure. It needed a, quote, long period of adjustment, so they really had to work to find that MJ116 rhythm again.
Which makes sense. And the article also says that late last year, 2024, they actually cut back on performing.
Yeah, deliberately scaled back their shows. The focus was entirely on recording the new album, OGS.
Shows real commitment to this reunion project.
Yeah.
So this album, OGS, Wikipedia says it's set for 2025. The title itself sounds interesting.
Oh, it really is. The MTV article breaks it down nicely. OGS. It's got layers.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, first off, it's the obvious abbreviation, Original Gangster. Classic hip-hop term.
Right, paying homage.
Paying homage, exactly. To the pioneers, the attitude, the authenticity of hip-hop. But there's a twist.
Ooh, okay.
If you say OGS quickly in Mandarin, it sounds a lot like Yuji-san.
Yuji's like Japanese for
uncle or middle-aged man.
No way. That's brilliant. Original Gangster meets uncle.
Yeah. It's this fantastic contrast, right, that suggests maybe they're looking at their legacy, their OG status, but through this new lens of maturity, maybe community, family.
So it's not just about being tough guys anymore. It's like acknowledging they've grown up.
It feels like it. This juxtaposition is really clever.
Yeah.
It could be them redefining what being an OG means now, in their late 30s, early 40s, perhaps.
Moving beyond just the youth focus often seen in hip-hop.
Maybe. And the MTV article backs this up. It says some tracks on OGS actually focus on everyday people in the community. Like, there's one called Tro, Neighborhood Chief Bro.
Interesting.
And another called Lanme, stupid kid. It points towards themes of local life, perhaps a bit more grounded.
That is quite a shift, or maybe an evolution. Does the sound change too? The article mentions a mix of their usual humor, but also deeper reflections. Something about seeing a mountain and is still a mountain. What's that mean?
Yeah, that phrase, as a jessel, like after going away and coming back, you see the same thing, the mountain, their core identity, but with new eyes, deeper understanding.
Ah, okay. So, not a total reinvention, but maybe adding layers, coming back to their essence with more wisdom.
That's how I read it. Bringing maturity to their signature style. And the first single they dropped gives us a taste.
Right. Bobu Sua. What's the vibe?
It translates to can't stop or unstoppable. And according to the article, it's fierce, pure hip-hop, hard beats, fast lyrics.
So the energy's still there.
Oh, yeah. The article says it really emphasizes their attitude hasn't faded one bit. But the lyrics apparently reflect their growth, their mental state now, channeling it into this intense musical form.
Staying true to their roots, but with that added depth.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, we didn't end, we're just starting a new chapter. Really firing up that collective energy again.
And they're backing it up with serious stage presence. Those Taipei arena shows. 4 nights.
Yeah, announced on social media, July 19th, 20th, 26th, and 27th.
Yeah.
2 whole weekends at the arena. That's a statement.
It really is.
Yeah.
A massive return to the stage together after doing their solo things.
It shows they mean business with this comeback.
It's crazy to think. Wikipedia says their debut album, How We Roll, was back in 2008. That's 16 years ago.
16 years. A long time in music. And the MTV article stresses how much life changes, getting older. All of that really shaped the making of OGS.
It makes you wonder how friendships survive that long in the industry with all the changes and solo breaks.
Well, it seems theirs is rock solid. The MTV piece has this great anecdote.
Oh, yeah.
During the music video shoot for Tro, they were filming at night, and this massive thunderstorm hit. Rain, lightning, the works.
Oh, wow. Nightmare scenario for a shoot.
Totally. But apparently, they just pushed through, no complaints, got the whole scene done in just 3 hours.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Real teamwork, that bond.
It really does. Their friendship seems constant, even with all the evolution. And the article suggests this whole single flight time actually let them build up more musical energy, become more mature, more diverse maybe.
So the break might have actually strengthened them in the long run.
Seems plausible.
Right.
Which makes these concerts even more exciting, right? People are really anticipating what this more mature, re-energized MJ116 will bring.
Definitely. And looking back at their history on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
it adds so much context, like how they even formed.
Yeah, it's a cool story. E.SO and Muta knew each other from junior high, bonded over music.
Okay.
Then Kenzy, who apparently had this background in like temple culture but also loved hip-hop, met E.SO in high school. And Kenzy was the one who first floated the idea of forming a group back in 2004.
So Kenzy initiated it.
Seems so. Muta joined about a year later. They recognized his unique voice, apparently.
It's interesting how those different backgrounds, temple culture, shared musical tastes came together. And they even started a fashion brand early on, MJ Fresh Gang.
Yeah, back in 2008 with some childhood friends, it shows they had ambitions beyond just the music, even then, building a whole identity, a brand.
That entrepreneurial side. Did that feed into their music, do you think? Or just a separate passion?
Hard to say for sure, but you got to think that mindset, that desire to build something bigger, probably influenced how they approached their music career, too. It wasn't just about tracks. It was about the whole package.
Makes sense. And it wasn't always easy, right? Wikipedia mentions a rap feud.
Ah, yeah, in 2011, with a rapper named YZ. There are diss tracks flying back and forth. YZ dropped Hater, and MJ116 hit back with Through TCM.
Oof. Was that a big deal at the time? Did it shape their image?
Well, those kinds of battles, you know, they can really solidify your rep in the hip-hop scene, shows you can stand your ground, showcases your lyrical skills under pressure, probably energize their fan base, too.
Right. Part of the culture.
Definitely. And then came that GUTS collaboration we talked about, 2015, 2017. Wikipedia really highlights how crucial that was. Fly Out just exploded.
Took them to another level.
Absolutely. But beyond the fame, there are these little details on Wikipedia about their bond. Really telling.
Like what?
Like, Kenzy and Muta have their beliefs, right? But they'd apparently pray with E.SO, who leans more towards Christianity, before shows.
Oh, why?
And vice versa, E.SO would join in temple rituals with Kenzy. It just shows this deep mutual respect, you know. Tolerance and brotherhood.
That's actually really nice to hear. Speaks volumes about their connection.
It does. And, of course, you can't ignore the awards. Wikipedia reminds us they snagged that Golden Melody Award for Best Vocal Group in 2018.
For the album Fib, big thing.
That's the one. Plus other nominations, HEDO Awards. They've got the critical acclaim and the popular vote.
So, wrapping this all up, this MJ116 return after 6 years with OGS, the concerts.
Yeah.
It really feels like a pivotal moment for them and maybe for Taiwanese hip-hop overall.
I think so, too. You've got this journey, the solo explorations coming back together, wrestling with creative changes, but holding on to that core friendship. It's all feeding into this new music.
Music that seems to blend their classic original gangster energy with this newer Ijisang perspective. Community maturity.
Exactly. That OGS concept is the key, I think. It's this bridge between who they were and who they are now. And that first single shows the fire is still there. Makes you really curious about the whole album.
Absolutely. It's a great chance, whether you're a longtime fan or just tuning in to see how artists evolve,
Yeah.
how they handle growth while staying true to themselves. It's a compelling story.
For sure. Reunion, reinvention. Always interesting narratives in music.
It leaves us with something to think about, maybe. Considering their whole 16-year ride, the breaks, the changes, how does this shift in MJ116 towards community, everyday life, this uncle vibe in OGS, how might that connect with bigger cultural changes we're seeing, outside of just music? What does it mean when original gangsters start embracing the Uji Sang role? What kinds of stories could that perspective unlock in their music? Definitely something to chew on.